What's up?
What's up guys, welcome to another video. So in this video I'm going to be talking about how to deal with staggers. Now I've touched upon this concept in like a lot of different videos, but I realized I never made a specific video addressing it. The way this concept works basically is that if you press a button at the same time you're blocking something, your button won't come out. And if the opponent were to not press anything, then of course obviously your button would come out. So how that works in a staggered situation. So basically think of Liu Kang's forward 4-3. So this string, he can either stagger just a forward 4 or go into the forward 4-3. So the way you beat this stagger is you press a poke at the same time you would block the follow-up of this string. So let's say in that example, if Liu Kang were to stagger his forward 4 and then go for a poke, you would be able to poke before his poke would hit you, meaning you'd be able to take back your turn. And if Liu Kang were to finish the string and go into this, you would still be able to block. And you can do that with pretty much any stagger in the game, unless the stagger has like a flawless block gap or a big enough gap for you like to poke in between. Because let me use the same string as an example. Let's say, you did the tech or whatever he did up to that point, and then he did the follow-up part, which is, his plus. But that string actually has a flawless block gap and even enough of a gap for you to press the buttons in between. With staggers like that, you're not able to use this tech. The reason being is because there's such a long gap in time before the 3 hits you and then, the plus frame part hits you, for example. So since that's so long, if Liu Kang were to stagger this and then go for a down 1, that would beat you doing this tech. Because if you do the tech right, you would press down 1 at the same time you block the plus frames, which, it wouldn't come out if he does the full string. But since it has a flawless block gap and has a lot of time in between, your poke will come out too late and Liu Kang will still be able to poke you first. So the main thing is, this stuff I'm going over now and how to deal with staggers, it does not work if the stagger has a flawless block gap in it. If it has a flawless block gap, that means this tech will not work, and that's actually a good stagger for the character has. It's actually a legitimate stagger. You have to either guess flawless block, guess poke, or whatever. You actually have to guess in that situation. Now, as for what I want to call this tech, now I don't have a name for it, but one of my friends taught me this actually a pretty long time ago, but he stopped playing MK11, and his name was Elijah, and we called it Eli Tech. So I'm going to refer to this as Eli Tech. So in all future videos, I'll be calling it Eli Tech, and of course I'll always link this video so you know what the hell I'm talking about. But anyway, so the example I want to show you how this works is against Jackie, because he's the ultimate culprit of this. So with Jackie, I'm going to be using her forward 3-1-4 string, because that actually has like 2 parts where she can actually stagger it. Because she can stagger just a forward 3, go into a poke. She can stagger this, go to a poke, or she can do the full string. When you're first trying to learn this tech, just be very simple. Just pick a character like Liu Kang or Jackie and just practice this. Have Jackie do forward 3 and then poke right away, and then have Jackie just do this part of the string, just so you can practice pressing poke at the same time the second part of the string hits. And when you do that, that should beat Jackie doing this into poke, and then you'll be able to block this. So that's pretty much how it works. So then once you get good at doing that, then you can practice doing this. Like Jackie also can do, all 3 hits of her stagger. So you're practicing pressing poke at the same time you block the second hit, then you block again right away, and then you press poke again at the same time you block the 3rd hit of this stagger. That's why I picked Jackie, because she's one of the harder ones to do this on, because you actually have to time it pretty good. Like other characters really only have the time to poke like once. Like for example with Jax's forward 3-3 string, you can do it for him like in the first part, because he has 3-3. You can press poke when the second 3 comes. But then of course, he has the flawless block gap at the end, which you can't do it for, but you can do it for like the first part of his thing. So you only have to do it once. But Jackie's one of those characters, if you're trying to do this tech for this string, you have to do it like twice, which is actually harder to do. So let me show you how it's supposed to look. So you basically see how it's supposed to work. Now I did mess up a couple times because it's actually kind of hard for this string, because you have to like, you know, press poke. When the second hit comes out, block right away, and then press poke again. So it's kind of like weird to do, but like a lot of other staggers, you know, are much easier. Like with Liu Kang, this is very simple. You just press poke for this string at the same time, you know, the 3 comes out. You just have to do it once, and then if you see, you know, he does the full string, then you have to make the read here, you know, because he can do the plus frame, he can do the fireball, whatever. So if you master this tech, this is really freaking good. Now, of course, for, you know, each character, you do have to practice, like, you know, each individual string, because for the most part, they have different timings. You know, it's pretty similar throughout, because, you know, if it doesn't have a flawless block gap in it, it's pretty much the same time the strings can hit you. But the point is, like, to really master this, you know, you should go with, like, each character, you know, do their most common strings where people like to stagger or whatever, and just, you know, get this down. Because if you get this down, no one's gonna be able to stagger on you and grab you. That's not gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. They're never gonna stagger and grab you. You're always gonna poke back. You're always gonna take back your turn. And you don't have to just poke. If you really get good at this, you could actually respond, like if you have a good mid, like a 9-frame mid or whatever. Now on some strings that won't actually work, because even though, you know, you're pressing the button at the right time, maybe the opponent's poke is too fast, maybe they have like a 6-frame poke, maybe your mid's like 11 frames and you can't really do that. But you can always do this tech with a poke, and that's, you know, guaranteed to work. Unless, like I said, their string has a flawless block gap in it. If it has a flawless block gap in it, then it's just, it takes too long for the next attack to come in. By the time your poke comes out, the opponent can either do their poke, or if they have a 9-frame mid or something like that, their 9-frame mid is going to end up beating you out. Or they can probably even grab you, because grabs are only like 10 frames. So like for Liu Kang, like since this has a gap in it, that's not going to work. This one has a gap in it, that won't work. But even for this one, it actually works. Even though this is kind of delayed, it actually does work for this. It's just harder to do. And for Jackie, like I showed you, like this whole string, it works. You can do it for this stagger. Now, for example, like this one, you know, that one has a flawless block gap in it. So again, that doesn't work. But let's say if she were to do like this stagger and stagger from this to this, then yeah, it works for that. But, you know, of course, this has a gap in it, so it doesn't always work for this particular string. But you get the idea. So this Eli tech is freaking amazing. I don't see anyone else really talking about it. Like, I don't know if the pros know about it. I'm sure some of them do. I don't see anyone ever mentioning it, and this is freaking really useful. It's very good to know. Now, it takes practice to master, because like I said, you gotta practice each individual string from each individual character. Otherwise, you know, you're gonna try to press poke, you press it too late. If you mistime it, you get hit by the string, so you're gonna wanna know the timing of this stuff. Now, the only way to actually beat this out completely is if the opponent staggers, you poke, they block your poke, and then they take back their turn. Like, if they know you always poke in between all their staggers, then they can do that. That's what a smart player would do. They won't just assume that you guessed right. They'll realize, okay, something's up, he's getting all these pokes right, let me just block his poke and then take back my turn. So that's the only thing that would beat you, is if they purposely stagger to block your poke, then to put you back in the strike throw mix up. But unless they do that, this tech is pretty much foolproof. It's definitely a way to stop those staggers, because a lot of people try to stagger into grab and stuff like that, or stagger and then try to do an auto shimmy, and this shuts all that down. Well, anyway guys, that's about it for the video today. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys next time.